3 years ago, we had 0 franchisees. Today, we have 22 with 9,500 kids enrolled in 2025. That growth didn't happen by accident. It came from sitting down every year, building a clear plan and executing it with precision. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact 7-step business domination plan I use to map out my year, the same plan that keeps our company growing and our team laser focused even when things get tough. Most businesses don't plan. They're winging it week to week, reacting instead of leading. Or they write a 30-page document in January, never look at it again, and wonder why nothing changes. I'm going to walk you through 7 simple steps to build a 1-page business plan that actually gets results. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to review, set goals, stress test, and execute your vision like a real CEO. Let's say you and I were going to war. I was a general of my platoon, you were the general of your platoon. We each had 1,000 troops under us. And everything was the exact same about the 1,000 troops. Same height, same weight. They were both fit. Where everything else was the same. Same armor, same resources, everything else was the same. Who would win if you and I were to go to war? Have a think about it. I'll tell you who would win. The person who has created and devised the better plan will win the war. If my plan is thorough and I've got a contingency, if you go down this area, I'm going to do this. If you shoot us here, I'm going to do this. And I've got every single caveat covered. And I've got an exact execution of my plan. And if you do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to win the war. And that's a lot like that in business. The people in business that win are the ones that have strong business plans. But there's a problem with business plans. Either number one, you don't have a business plan and you're just aiming anywhere, hoping things land. Number two, you have a business plan, but if it's a 30-page document that is so freaking long, it's not adaptable, it's not flexible, and by February, it's gone in the dust. Or number three, you have a business plan, it's short, but it's too vague. It doesn't have your goals, it doesn't have your missions, it doesn't have exactly how you're going to dominate the year, and it's a very vague plan. I want you to come with me because in today's video, I'm going to give you what I call my 7-step domination business plan that you can use to kickstart 2026 so that it's your best year ever. Let's get into it. Key point number 1, do your business planning at the right time of the year. Too many people, when they say, you know what, I'm going to do a business plan, they do it in January of the new year. That's too late. If you do it in January, if you do it in February, heck, if you do it in December of the year before, it's too late. You want to take the time to craft a really strong business plan. For me, I like to do it in October of November of that year for the next year because I can then have time to share it with my team. And when you do your business planning, get out of the office. You got to go off-site for 3 days. Don't bring your laptop. I like to print paper because I don't have any distractions. I don't have emails on my laptop. I don't have anything else. And you got to go off the grid for 2 to 3 days. That's how you get really, really good reflection. And it allows you to actually take the time to unwind and prepare for a very strong year. So do it in October, November. Take 3 days off-site, somewhere very far away, the Blue Mountains or wherever you want. And that's when you want to start your business planning. By the way, guys, make sure to stick around to the end of the video. I've got a really good bonus resource I'm going to give to you. It's called the 7-Step Business Domination Workbook that you're going to get access to. Okay, so step number 1 is planning at the right time. Step number 2 is reviewing the year. Before you start writing your goals and what your plan is for world domination, you need to review the year. Professional sports teams, what do they do after they've just finished a game a couple of days later? They go through film. They look at footage. What did they like? What did they do well? What didn't they do well? What do they want to fix up for next week? Right? If they don't look at any film, they might make the same mistake next week on game day. So what you need to do is review the year that has just passed. And here are some questions to kind of get that reflection going. What were your biggest wins? What's your biggest setbacks? What mistakes kept repeating this year? How did you respond to stress or crisis events that happened this year? That's a great one. Did you hit your goals for this year? Yes or no? If not, why didn't you hit them? What do you need to improve on as a leader? Where do you, I love that question, and this is what I do every year for me. I put the microscope under me first. where do I, as a leader, need to get better to achieve my goals for next year? One of the things, and I'll share with you where I need to get better, as a leader, sometimes when things don't go right, I can step in and kind of do the work for my employees or give them a solution. As a result, my employees kind of feel a little bit undermined at times. They feel like Emile doesn't trust us to do it. So now I've told my team, I've said to my team in our last head office meeting, I said, hey guys, if I step in too much, can you please call me out and tell me to back up? I've told them, because that's my blind spot, that's my weakness, that's what I'm trying to fix on in 2026. But unless you take the time to really review your year, you're not going to know what your blind spots are, what your weaknesses are as a leader. So number R stands for review. Review the entire year, every single key event that happened, the financials, everything. You got to look back before you move forward. Okay, step number 3, you are going to set 3 to 4 measurable goals. This is coming straight from the Workbook team. The problem when people set goals for their business is, number 1, they set too many goals. You can't set more than 4. If you set more than 4 big goals for the year, you're not going to achieve anything because your efforts are going to be diluted throughout the year. You just want at least 2 to 4 major goals that you want to achieve for the year. Now, when you set these goals, here are a couple of things to make sure of. Number 1, you got to say why it's important. Don't just set a goal for the sake of setting a goal. You need to write a paragraph underneath each goal. Why is that goal important to you? And if you can't really articulate why, it's probably not the right goal for you. So if you want to say, I want to make a lot of money, or I want to make $2 million in revenue this year. Last year I made $1 million, now I want to make $2 million in revenue. Why? You need to put a why underneath the goal. Otherwise, it's just going to be something on paper. The third thing when you're doing your 3 to 4 goals is you have to have a deadline. Every single goal must have a deadline to it, when it needs to be achieved, right? Deadlines add urgency. If you do not have a deadline, you've just got a wish list. That's all it is. No deadline, you have a wish list. So you must add a deadline. For example, for me, goal that I set this year, I'm happy to share it with you. I want to sign 12 franchise agreements in 2026. The deadline for that is December 30th, 2026. Specific, simple, and it's very measurable. And the last thing you want to do when you're setting up your goals is it needs to be objective. You need to be able to see, are you getting closer to that goal? It can't be a subjective goal, right? It's got to be objective to the point where you can look at a board and see, are you closer to the goal today, or are you not closer to that goal today, right? It's like when anyone's playing sports, right? When you're not tracking the score, everyone's mucking around, having fun. There's no scoreboard. Let's just have fun. As soon as you put a score and you say first 1 to 20, now everybody's going hard, but intensity's picked up. You've got to have a scoreboard, and your goal needs to be objective so that you know if you're getting closer to that goal or not. Hey, just quickly, if you want to see if there's an available territory to own a Little Boomers basketball franchise in, click the link below to our map and see if there's a location near you. Step number 4, coming straight from the Domination playbook, is ask who, then how. So before you start writing down how or what you're going to do to achieve that goal, you need to ask who. Who is going to help you get closer to that goal? Because there's people in your company, there's people in your department that are going to influence that goal, right? I know, for example, if I want to hit 12 franchise agreements, I'm involved in that goal. My admin that calls up leads to book in discovery calls with me is involved in that goal. My marketing manager that's running lead generation online to generate leads, they're part of those goals. I need to make sure I get complete buy-in from everybody that is directly influencing the goal that I want the company to achieve. So before you go into the how, ask who. Who do you need to recruit to help you get closer to your goal? Step number 5, I love this. Stress test your plan. This is when I go like completely negative. I become the most anti-optimist person ever in the world. And I apply Murphy's Law. And what I do is I write down what could go wrong. Every single thing that is wrong with this plan, I stress test it. What if this happens? What am I going to do? What if this happens? What if this happens? I stress test my plan, right? Because if you don't stress test your plan, curveballs are going to happen throughout the year, right? And if you're not ready, if you're not prepared, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. So I stress test my plan. I critique it under a microscope. What if this happens? What am I going to do? What if this happens? What am I going to do? How would I respond to this happens? How would I respond if this happens? What if my head of marketing manager leaves and all of a sudden I've got no more leads coming through? Make sure you take the time to stress test your plan. Step number 6, every single year should have a theme for you of what the year represents. What's the biggest thing? What's the theme for the year? What's the company's overall theme? Every single year should have a theme. For me in 2025, it was a year of national expansion. I wanted to grow the franchises across multiple states, and we achieved that. We went into New South Wales. Oh no, we were already in New South Wales. We went to Victoria, we went to Queensland, and we're moving to some other states. 2026 is going to be the year of nailing it and scaling it for me, because we have this new system that we want to scale across the whole network that's going to really increase the franchisees' revenue and profitability. But every year needs to have a theme. You got to start the sentence like this: 2026, or whatever the year is that you're planning for, is the year of insert your theme. It could be a big goal that you're trying to achieve, world domination, it could be whatever you want, but each year needs to have a theme. So take the time to figure out what the theme of the year is going to be for you. Now, step number 7 is so important, and this is where most business owners and people stop. They create their plan, done, they go into the new year, and nobody ever sees it again, and it stays in a Word document, locked up in a dungeon. What you need to do now is step number 7 is you got to bring your goals to life. You have to breathe them. You have to bring them to life. This is what I do. I create a scoreboard with the 3 to 4 company goals, right? And this is where we need to be every single month. The goals are there, and I share them with my team. And every single weekly or monthly meeting that I have with our team, somebody goes over the scoreboard. This is where we're at for this is where we're at for this is where we're at. It's like a touch point, right? The more you see it, the more you believe it, right? It just has to be reminded every single time. This is what our goals are. Our weekly meeting, our weekly alignment with our team, our monthly meeting, we go over the scoreboard. Hey guys, this is where we're going. This is where we're going. So create a scoreboard, a visual scoreboard, right, with your goals to see how you're tracking along. And every single weekly or monthly or fortnightly meeting you have with your team, take the time to spend 2 minutes going over, seeing where you're at on the scoreboard. And then the second thing I like to do, and this is interesting, it's coming straight back here from the workbook, is you got to share your goals with the team. All your team, everybody in your department has to see these goals. That's why I create a scoreboard and I share it with all the departments. Everybody needs to know this is where we're heading this year. We're going here. We're focusing here. Everybody needs to be aligned with the company goals. And the last thing I do is I visualize these goals and I create images for these goals, right? I go to ChatGPT, I go to Gemini, I put my 4 goals on a paper, I get it to create like a nice graphic design. And you know what I do with that graphic design? I put a wallpaper on my phone screen. I put a wallpaper on my desktop. I print it out and I put it all over the office. I put one in my car. Everywhere I go, I'm reminded of my goals. Oh, okay, these are my 4 goals. These are my 4 goals. I look at my phone screen here. I look at my desktop here. I go in my car. Here's my goals. I am constantly reminded of my goals because I can visually see it every single time, right? That's why people go wrong in January. They never see their business plan because they create this 30-page document. It gets stuck into some Google Drive folder. And then they continue with that the year, putting out all these fires. You need to be reminded of your goals. So bring them to life by creating a visual of your goals. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. If you want full access to the 7-step business domination workbook, it's completely free. Click the link below in the description. It's attached to a Google Docs. Print it out. Takes 3 days off site. And I hope you found today's video useful. If you liked it, guys, please share it with someone. Subscribe for our weekly episode every Friday. I'll see you in the next video.